Hey, friends all over the world. I want you to excuse the background noise. You know, my kids are making stuff. They're cooking. I want to tell you the shocking truth about Denzel Washington, Billie Eillish, and the Hollywood Awakening. Denzel Washington, Billie Eillish, and the Hollywood Awakening. I don't know if you all know, but recently Denzel Washington was baptized and ordained a reverend, a minister in the Church of God in Christ. And I'll get on to that in a minute. Now, you may say, why is that significant at all? The fact that Denzel Washington, who, by the way, has been a professing Christian for some time, and why is that significant? But even more importantly, why is the idea of Billie Eilish even in this conversation? What do they have to do with each other? Well, Billie Eilish doesn't necessarily have any direct correlation with Denzel Washington at all. However, recently Billie Eilish was performing "Oh Holy Night" at a concert. Now, I don't watch Billie Eilish. I didn't know anything about her. Hadn't even heard of her until recently. But apparently she performed a Christmas song, "Oh Holy Night," before a large audience. Let me start with the beginning. Denzel Washington was recently baptized into the Church of God in Christ. Well, baptized as a believer, and then baptized into the denomination, the Church of God in Christ, which is probably the church that he was affiliated with when he was younger. He went on to be ordained as a minister. Denzel Washington is probably one of the most popular and successful actors in the world. Let me say it again. He is probably one of the most popular and most successful actors in the world. And this man recently publicly affirmed his faith in Jesus and was publicly confirmed as a minister and presented an ordination certificate and a minister's license, which means that he can now go into hospitals and pray for people. He can now preach at different conferences in the Church of God in Christ. He can preach in other denominations that accept his licensure. This is something very significant. Why is it significant? Again, excuse the background noise. My kids are watching TV really loud. Why is this a significant thing? Well, for two reasons. It represents an awakening in the highest level of the mountain of entertainment. Now, we can argue that there may be actors bigger than Denzel Washington, but he is definitely one of the biggest, an Oscar award-winning actor, along with many other awards. He's been in many blockbuster films. There's even talk of him being in the Marvel movie Black Panther. And yet, why now? Why publicly affirm his faith? Now, I'll go back and forth. Now let's look at the whole Billie Eilish thing. Now, Billie Eilish, from what I understand, is one of the top artists on Universal Music Group's roster. One of the top artists in the world. She represents the voice in the entertainment world for Gen Z. Okay? Yet, songs that are perverse and songs that are filled with all kinds of debauchery, though she's known for that, On her platform, she begins to sing about Jesus. I'm not saying she's a Christian at all. But what if this was the beginning of something very supernatural? What if this was the makings of an awakening in the mountain of Hollywood? Because if I told you that if I told you that a celebrity believed in Satan and practiced witchcraft, you would easily believe that. You would easily jump on the bandwagon and share it and post it. Wow, this person's into the occult. This person is in the Illuminati. We share that, but what if what God is doing in Hollywood is greater than anything that Satan is doing? What if there was something happening? You know, it's amazing as believers, we often talk about God moving. We often talk about revival. We often talk about awakening. We talk about these things in a very mystical sense. We talk about them in a very distant, hyper spiritual sense. But what if God is moving? What if the things we've been praying about for the last 20 and 30 years about God changing our nation is actually happening in one of the most influential mountains in the world, which is the mountain of entertainment? What if the sleeping church is rising up? Again, I am not trying to sensationalize these people or their experiences. But what if God was doing something? It's like when Kanye came out and said he was a Christian, you know, you had two camps. There were people that said, I don't believe he's a real Christian. And now that same camp is saying, I told you he wasn't real. I told you that wasn't God. But if we apply that same logic to people that we know and interact with, folks in the church right now who, after saying they're saved and love the Lord, get divorces, go out and sin, go out and fornicate, commit adultery. We don't believe that they're no longer Christians. Yet, when Kanye came out and he says, hey, I'm a Christian, and now he's in what seems like a backslidden state, we now want to totally nullify that God was ever moving in his life. And I think it's a dangerous theology. I believe there is an invasion of the glory coming into Hollywood. This is just the beginning. Denzel Washington is not the first, and he definitely will not be the last. What if God is trying to arrest the Taylor Swifts, the Beyoncés? What if he's trying to get a hold of the Billie Eilishes and the Jamie Foxxes? What if some of the most debauched people in our mind are on God's numero uno list of people he wants to touch? What if people are having supernatural encounters? And again, I don't believe we should just take whatever a celebrity does because they have money and influence and fame and take it as gospel. No. But I believe God is moving. I believe God is moving. Share this video and remember Jesus is Lord.